All right, guys, it is time for my favorite night of the year, or at least one of my favorite nights of the year. It's the annual holiday party. I'm going to kick it off. We're doing some hot takes tonight. What This is just supposed to be a really relaxed stream. And when I say relax for you guys. For me, I'm going to get heated up here. And of course, I got to kick it off with my eggnog. I got my Marty Moose mug. I don't want to hold it this way because I don't know how strong these ears are. This is a prop. But I'm going to take my first sip of eggnog in about a year, and then we'll kick it off with a little bit of hot takes. Now, when I say I like eggnog, it's my favorite thing to have around this time of year, but I try not to overdo it. Last year, I did a stream where I drank so much eggnog over the course of like 2 weeks that I think by the end of it, I was definitely feeling the effects. There's nothing in this. It's just your standard store eggnog. I got it from a local store. Hot takes. So we're going to go into these hot takes one by one. And in the live chat or comments, you can tell me how right I am or how wrong I am. So let's get right into it, guys. And I'm not going to pull these in any particular way. I just opened the packs. I'm just going to pull a card from, either part of the sleeve. First up, we got. And if you are in the chat, say hello. You shouldn't hook up on the first date. All right. So in this case here, I think we're definitely looking to. I don't know if I'm going to expose myself in any ways here, but we're going to have a really good time. So let me read this one more time. You shouldn't hook up on the first date. I think I really don't know. I never was the type of person to bond that way with somebody just on one interaction. I kind of need a little bit more there. But I'm not going to judge somebody if that's what they want to do. It's really up to the individual. And I realize it's kind of a cop out, but for me, I don't. I've been married for 10 years, so it's not even really applicable to me. I'll pick from the other pile here. And as we do this, I'm going to shout out for the live chat. We have Jessica. Jessica, I am always happy to see you in these live chats. Thank you so much for dropping in and saying hello. I don't know if these are in any order, and I'm really hoping that we get a few food ones. Oh, geez. All right, hot take. Abolishing the police would work. I disagree. 100% disagree with that. I think law enforcement plays a very important role in society, and we need them. They do a very important job. And while I say that, I just want to give a shout out to Larry, Home Rapid Repair. There's something, Larry, that I was looking to do, and I was actually looking through your channel to see if you had a tutorial on how to do it. So to you, happy almost Christmas. I may shout you out on Twitter X to see if maybe you have an insight. But anyway, nice to see you here. Next hot take. Next up. The Napoleon complex is a real thing. Now, what do you think? I guess we have to break this one down a little bit. Napoleon complex refers to when a man of small stature has a kind of inferiority complex. Is that what we're talking about here? Because I've never personally encountered that. I've never seen anybody's behavior dictated by how short or tall they were. I don't have any particular examples that a short person really had an inferiority complex. So I'm going to say false on that one. False on that one. Next up, women should be allowed to be priests. Hard stop. Everybody should be allowed to be a priest. As a recovering Catholic, I don't hold male priests in any particular high regard. Just like education, they're at a certain point, a responsibility is bestowed upon somebody based on arbitrary requirements. And this is coming from somebody who did many years of secondary education to get a master's degree after my bachelor's degree. I realize I'm skirting around the religion portion of this, but I don't believe priesthood should be unique, special to one gender over any other gender or denomination for that matter. These are really, I mean, my channel is typically very lighthearted about food, and this we're getting pretty we're getting pretty societal pretty quickly here, and that's why I'm gonna make these short, because I personally don't have very strong opinions on a lot of this stuff. I think so. Monogamy is unnatural. I disagree with that. Monogamy, whatever you practice, is totally natural. Just don't practice weird stuff, like the stuff that you see on Nip Tuck. See, Nip Tuck ended 20 years ago. No. Yeah, Nip Tuck ended almost 16 years ago. Don't be like those people. Oh, this is going to upset a lot of people, especially since I'm pretty ingrained in the Friends of Tom network, where indie music is actually a pretty well discussed and well respected thing, but rap music is better than indie music. I actually am going to agree with that one. I think as a whole, I personally find more enjoyment in rap music than I do in indie music. Sorry guys, and I know my brother's an indie musician. He may be here, or he may not. But yeah. And while I pull the next card, we have my buddy from high school, Greg Eckert. Sorry he's late. Hey, it's good to have you here, whether you're late or not, especially if you had to pour yourself a brew. And happy holidays to you as well, Greg. Next card. I don't think we're gonna make it through all these cards tonight, but we'll get as far as we can. We'll see how many people we get in the stream. And again, tell me how, if you disagree with me on these things, let's not personally attack each other in the chat, but let's definitely tell me if I'm right or wrong on these things. Next up, baths are better than showers. I disagree with that, just based on the logistics of me taking a bath as a larger individual. I don't have the ability to actually have a bath just because of water displacement in the bathroom that we have. Maybe one day I'll have a nice mansion with a humongous bath in the middle of the room, but as of right now, I don't have the means for that. And it looks like, I can't really tell. It looks like it might be getting choppy, although it's telling me I have excellent connection. I'm going to push along with this and hope that it kind of works itself out. I don't know what's up with the internet here, but everything seems to be going okay on my end. But it's definitely, I could see it getting a little choppy. All right, next up. Companies should offer unlimited sick days for their employees. That's a hard one. And I think for that one, I'm going to say no. I think there should be policies in place where if an employee is sick and needs extended time off, they have the ability to do that. But I don't think it should be just unlimited willy-nilly. And if you're having trouble in the video here, let me know in the chat, please, because I don't know what I can do to actually help this along. Because it seems like I'm a little choppy. All right, I think that's a little better. Let me see if closing some stuff here will help. Let's see now if that helps matters. I don't know. I'm trying my best here, guys. I know the audio is good. All right. Thanks, Eric. Or thanks, Greg Eckert. That means a lot because I don't know what the deal is with I even downgraded from 1080p to 720p. So, all right. I would rather live on a private island than a penthouse in my dream city. I'm a kind of private person, and I love my alone time, but I don't know that I could actually do a private island because it's kind of desolate. A penthouse in my dream city kind of sounds a little bit more up my alley, And my dream city would actually be Puerto Rico, San Juan, probably. So I think I'd rather do the penthouse. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Everyone should go to therapy at some point in their lives. This is probably a fact. I think everybody would benefit from that. I think there's nothing wrong with saying you need help. And help could be anything from, psychotherapy, breaking down years worth of, traumas to get to a root cause, or it could just be, hey, I'm having a bad day. I need to talk to somebody. And therapy, I think we can define it loosely. Could be therapy, talking to a friend. It doesn't need to be a professional thing. But professional is always good. Cheers. And again, this is one of my 2 nights of the year that I get to enjoy a little mug of eggnog. All right. If time travel existed, then changing something from the past would change everything about the future. This is getting into a little bit of a paradox about like time travel in fiction, kind of that butterfly effect. Butterfly effect is not the right word. If you change one event, do you create an alternate timeline? And from the Marvel movies, we know there's one way that you can define how the time travel works. And Back to the Future, which is probably the quintessential, there's another way. And in Back to the Future 2, Biff goes all the way back in time, gives himself the almanac, and then creates an alternate 1985. And then they just change things around it to get back to the original 1985. There's going to be rules to either of those. But at the end of the day, answering the question, yes, changing something from the past would change everything about the future. Everything from, the one that everybody kind of talks about is if they offed Hitler at a very young age. I don't know why. I know why that's a popular one to consider, but I think even down to like little things, like if you change what you eat for breakfast, that could change the whole course of the rest of your life. I kind of feel like there's a larger purpose to everything we do. To get a little deep, the smell of coffee is bad. I disagree with that. I like the smell of coffee. A lot of these, if you add descriptive adjectives and prepositional phrases, would actually make them true. The smell of bad coffee is bad. But I like the smell of coffee. I think going into a coffee shop where they're brewing a nice coffee, there's that to me, I think is great. Sue me. Emotional support animals shouldn't be considered service animals. Now that's an interesting one. I don't know really what that means. Does that mean, are they saying like when you go to the mall, there's people that seem to just have their pets that are just there for emotional support, however, have the service animal tag on it? My personal feeling on this is, and this is, we lost both of our pets this year, both of our dogs, one back in April, one back in September. So I personally didn't like going out in public with my dog. Just because I worry a lot. So personally, I wouldn't bring an emotional support animal, but I also don't have the need for a quote unquote emotional support animal. So I'm not really, maybe I'm not the right person to answer the question about that. Let's say that. Next hot take. It's always worth it to leave the party earlier than everyone else. Yes. Don't even go. Over the years, I've had to go to a lot of parties, some of which I wanted to go to, others I haven't. And leaving early is probably the best thing you can do, aside from not going. Newborn babies shouldn't be allowed on planes. It's really hard to just give a sweeping answer on these because like you if a newborn baby has to be on a plane, it has to be on a plane. Newborn babies aren't, I wouldn't say, are the offenders. The people on planes who get offended by babies being on planes are offended by toddlers. You know, like they're not the newborns are kind of harmless, but you shouldn't bring a newborn out in public as much as possible, from what I understand. I've only had one kid, but that was kind of the rule. Like you got to wait 6 days after you get home, and then after that you can go out. Yeah, I don't agree. Newborns can go wherever they want to go, but most of the time they can't make the decision to do that. All right, here we go. Hot take. Next up, ASMR videos are not relaxing. 100% agree. I do not think ASMR videos are at all relaxing. I think in a lot of cases they are absolutely obnoxious. And we got to get into the live chat and say hello to some people. Justin in the house. Justin, I met at Vid Summit, and we commiserated over breakfast at the Holiday Inn, Continental Breakfast, and in the crappy shuttle from the Holiday Inn. We got my buddy Shawnee, who I'll see Saturday. I'm covering up my hair just because it needs to be covered up right now. So I'm hoping he's going to help me out with that on Saturday. And Justin's saying, I may be the next Mr. Beast. I do not want to be the next Mr. Beast. Hot take. I do not want to be Mr. Beast. I just want to make a comfortable little side gig here on YouTube and connect with people who love food. And with that, we got our eggnog here for the live stream. I don't get to have eggnog all the time, as you shouldn't, because it's one of those things. It's a once in a year event. So cheers. All right, next hot take. Uh-oh. ASMR all day, Greg Eckert. Hey, and this is the thing. These may be my hot takes, but if you have an opposing opinion, honestly, I don't care. I mean, I can't. I like to hear your opinion, but I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm just not the, you do what you got to do in your life. That's all. All right. Of the three, next hot take. Of the three meals, breakfast is best. I think. Oh, geez, that's a hard. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I love breakfast because it's so versatile. So many things actually can fit into a breakfast. So I think for me, I'm going to say yes. Of the three meals, breakfast is the best. And that's because you can fit anything into a breakfast. So like a burger, you go to a diner, you get a burger and fries. That's breakfast, man. We used to go to this place in Oneonta called the Neptune Diner, and the best thing to do, like literally any time of day, you order a burger and that's your breakfast. Then they started making burgers around the clock with a fried egg on it, and it's like, all right, now you're doing dinner, but you're putting breakfast elements on it. And then around the 2010s, they started putting an egg on everything. It was like you can get, short ribs, and then for a couple extra dollars, they'll throw a farm fresh fried egg on top of it. So everybody, I think, started to come around to the fact that breakfast is the best meal of the day. So I'm going to go with yes, hot take. Breakfast is the best of the three meals in the day. And it seems like Greg may be disagreeing with me on that one, but tough. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. All this is, Justin, is a Yeti taken off of the stand, and it's just on a generic Amazon mic arm. Nothing fancy. Next up. All right, Justin, you ready for a hot take that isn't a card just because you asked the question? Have you taken Jenny Hoyos' course on shorts? No. And I think Jenny Hoyos is 100% overrated. I saw her course at Vid Summit. I've seen multiple of her talks, and she talks a lot about what she does to grow her shorts, but she's never given any examples of how she actually does it. So to me, I think it's all talk, and I know her videos perform well, but I think that's less about what she personally may be doing to create those videos. I could be wrong, but it's a hot take. From a food guy, no less. You gotta say it like that. From a food guy, no less. I don't know, Greg. What were we talking about? Oh, that was the breakfast. Yeah, you can't beat breakfast. You can't. Next hot take. Nicolas Cage is not a bad actor. I feel like they just took like statements and put a word in it. All right, Nicolas Cage as an actor. I think Nicolas Cage is well aware of what he does. Do I think that makes him a bad actor? No, I think it makes him a smart business person. He is a fine actor. I mean, can you complain about anything Nicolas Cage does? Can you point out things where it's intentionally cheesy? Absolutely. But I don't think you can complain about what Nicolas Cage does. So there's that. Next hot take. Oh, this is a really hard one. I dropped it. Kanye West is overrated. All right. Let's talk about Kanye West here for a second. I need to be careful. A year ago, Kanye West said some despicable, stupid things. And I would never be on his side after that. However, you separate the art from the artist. Everything pre-2020 that Kanye West did is brilliant. And I can't fault him for his creativity. I think when you reach a certain point in stardom, we saw the same thing happen with Michael Jackson, where you just reach this point of no return, where there's so much pressure to say something. You couple that with the fact that he was married to a Kardashian. They went through a kind of brutal divorce, and I'm absolutely not making excuses for him for saying what he said, because I think it was stupid. He sunk $1 billion empire with Adidas just because of his stupid remarks. Stupid things that he doesn't really actually believe. He was just saying to get attention. So Kanye West as a person is absolutely overrated. Stupid person. As an artist, I mean, Life of Pablo is one of my favorite things to listen to. 808s and Heartbreak is probably one of my top 10 favorite albums, and got me through kind of a tough time. And that's all I have to say about that. It was stupid. We got somebody in the chat, Brian G. Hey, Brian. Yep, it was stupid. Really stupid. I haven't seen the movie Fair Play as far as I remember. I don't remember. All right, next up. Sweet potato fries are healthy. No. If you make them the way I used to make them, sweet potato fries are absolutely healthy. So I used to have this technique that I used to do where I would take sweet potatoes, I would cut them into French fry shapes, and then I would coat them in salt, pepper, a little bit of chili powder, and I used to just spray them with Pam and bake them at a really high temperature, like 450, about 15 minutes on the first side, 10 minutes on the second side. You have to flip them in between, and you have to toss a little bit of cornstarch in before you spray it, and it makes them nice and crispy, and doesn't add a whole lot of oil, doesn't add a whole lot of extra like empty carbs to it. So sweet potato fries that you get at a restaurant are probably, actually, if you look at the calorie count, they're usually higher calorie, probably because they retain more oil and have more inherent sugar than an actual potato fry. But sweet potato fries are not healthier than regular fries under normal circumstances. All right, next up. This one I may not be qualified to answer. Budget airlines like Spirit and Frontier aren't that bad. I haven't flied either of those, so I don't know. Their business practices, from what I understand, is not good. So maybe they are that bad. I'm not qualified to answer. Side note, so I have this official Christmas Vacation Marty Moose eggnog mug, and I'm afraid to hold it by the ears because I don't really want to break off the ears. I don't feel like it's gonna break, but again, this is a movie prop and not really a mug to use at home. I only have 2 movie props that I actually use. This and my BMF Pulp Fiction wallet. All right, the narcissist in me is coming out here. Apologizing is weak. I think humility is important in life, and when you're wrong, and admitting that you're wrong is actually a strong thing to do. So apologizing is absolutely not weak. Apologize if you find something wrong, apologize. If you're using an apology to get out of something, don't apologize. Figure out, work on yourself, make things right the right way. Next up, we're on to a food one. Veganism and vegan food will one day be just as popular as their animal-based counterparts. Just as popular? No. Veganism and vegan food are a niche thing. However, I think that a lot of people are waking up to the fact that our food system is screwed up and are coming up with alternatives for meat-based foods that are vegan in nature. About 15 or so years ago, that's when the surge in vegan restaurants and vegetarianism kind of really ticked upward, at least in my area. My area was always late to the party on things and still is kind of late to the party. But I don't think vegan food will ever be as popular, but it's gaining popularity. But, and here's an actual hot take. I got recommended an article where they were making vegan foie gras. Don't do this, okay? The purpose behind vegan is not just the fact that there's no animal byproducts and animal products in the food. There's also ethical concerns about things, and making a food where that's probably one of the most controversial ethical foods out there, making a vegan version of that, it destroys the point of veganism. So let's get rid of vegan foie gras, guys. we don't need vegan foie gras. I realize I'm replacing some of these hot takes with my own hot takes. You should become friends with your ex. No. Next hot take. This one, I don't see my brother Dom in the chat at all, but Dom's gonna like this one. The Beatles are overrated. I disagree with this 100%. I think, though, as time is moving on, the relevance of the Beatles is actually getting lost. And I think there are probably many people who believe this. So I would actually say the opposite. In 2023, the Beatles are underrated. I don't think enough people who are alive now appreciate what the Beatles did and what the Beatles were capable of doing in their own personal careers and in their career as a group. The Beatles were absolutely brilliant. Brian G, Beatles are correctly rated. Yeah, I mean, this is hot takes, man. We're trying to. All right, next up. Zoos are unethical. False. False, because not every zoo is doing unethical things. There are. We went to the San Diego Zoo in February, and I think just given what they were telling us in terms of preserving habitats and all that stuff, I think what was the wording? Zoos are unethical. I think that's false. I'm sure there are zoos out there that are doing things that are pretty gross and disgusting, but I don't think, in general, as a hot take, zoos are unethical. Next hot take. Superstitions are real. This is kind of a stupid one. Really stupid. I like the word stupid tonight. Greg's laughing over me saying friends with X, no, moving on. I don't, there's nothing else to say there. You don't need to talk to an ex. Unless you need to talk to an ex. You know, there are circumstances, obviously, where you need to talk to an ex. Dom's here. Dom, you just missed it. We were talking about the Beatles. The hot take was the Beatles are overrated, and I thought you'd get a kick out of that one, because that started a little bit of an argument back in the day. All right. Superstitions are real. This might be so far the stupidest card we've taken. If you have a superstition, that you have a reason to believe it, so I'm not going to take that away from you. You know, I have a lot of silly superstitions, so I personally don't think that it's that it makes it any more real or fake than anything. So that's a dumb card, a real dumb card. All right. Now, I think we've hit a spot where these are just stupid. The chicken came first. Yes. Literally. That happened. Okay? That's your R-rated hot take for the day. All right. Before I put this one up, I gotta take a sip of eggnog. Can I refill your eggnog? Remember that from Christmas Vacation? Can I refill your eggnog? All right. Here we go. Hot take. Birthdays are always disappointing. I think I need to be careful on this one, right? As you get older, the importance of the birthday is a little bit, it diminishes, right? However, I guess I disagree, because as long as you have something special to make out of it, birthdays don't always have to be disappointing. I think this year I ended up on my birthday, I think we got ice cream and ice cream at a place near our house, and then went to a beverage center and I got what do you call it? Steve Austin's crappy beer. So it was not a disappointing birthday. So, starting a hot take with Dom. He's been here since the start. Whoopsie. State of mind, what you make of it. Exactly. And Greg, yes, Stewart's eggnog. I bought a more premium eggnog because we're having some guests, but I didn't want to crack that one for this just because I'm trying to be good. And this is also Stewart's light eggnog, just to lighten it up a little. I'm heavy enough. All right. Hot take. It's okay to drive tipsy? No. Next. Teachers should not give homework. This is actually... All right. So there's some philosophies on this in terms of how effective homework is. And what I'm experiencing with my son going into the second grade, he's had a couple different teachers that have different philosophies on it. His teacher now only gives homework on special occasions. I think homework has some value when it's needed. You get to a point where when you're studying in school where there's not enough time in the school day for you to absorb everything, and that's where homework comes in. I think the general I'm going to modify this. The general term studying to me is a BS term, because that to me is a meaningless, like it kind of like when I was in school, what I would consider studying was doing homework. I would actually like do math problems or like social studies problems. When people told me, hey, study, I did not have the attention span to go back to old quizzes and old tests and memorize the answers. Like, to me, that was just really boring, and it didn't help me learn those topics any better. So I didn't get much value out of that. But if I had to sit down and go through the problem solving, then that to me is more studying, like just doing new questions. The same thing goes for Spanish class. I'm sure Greg, we took a lot of Spanish classes together back then. I used to just go to the bookstore and buy books that were Spanish and try to get like other different problems and different ways of, like, you know, the verb, what do you call it when you had to do the different tenses of the verbs and all that stuff. That to me was more useful than actually just studying, quote unquote. So anyway, that was kind of a weird take. Dominic saying birthdays are great if you don't drag other people into it. Agree 100%, especially for adults. It's more rude to show up late than show up overdressed. 100%, 1000% agree with that one. Don't make me dress up. Conjugating verbs, that's it. As a scientist, I don't get to use all this awesome grammar anymore and usage. Tap water is better than Dasani. That one I think is kind of an easy one. Like, if you're gonna make this a wide thing, obviously tap water everywhere is not good. So I mean, I don't have a problem with Dasani. I don't buy bottled water unless I'm somewhere where I need to buy bottled water. So military time is better than AM PM. As a person not in the military, I disagree. I like AM PM because that's everybody I interact with it in a day talks in that language. You don't do this 400 hours crap. PDA is gross. Disagree. If you want to do PDA, do PDA. I don't care. I don't look at what other people do. My brother, I guarantee my brother is going to say something about what I just said there. Dasani is low end of bottled water. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I kind of feel like Aquafina might be, but we're kind of reaching for the bottom there. Yeah, I mean, a lot of places only have Dasani or only have Aquafina. It's branding. I mean, all it is branding. Honestly, it probably is just tap water with a label on it. So by design, that makes it that's not true. Tap water is not better or worse than Dasani. All right, here we go. We're back to the. It seems like the food hot takes here are about the same topic. If you're a vegetarian, you shouldn't wear leather. I disagree. If you want to wear leather, wear leather. If you want to be vegetarian, be vegetarian. If you say you're vegan, you can't wear leather. And that's the same thing about vegan foie gras. It's kind of vegan foie gras is a really stupid thing. I think maybe how about this? If somebody can, if you're watching this on the replay, if it's actually watchable, I have no idea what this video is going to be like. I'll buy a coffee to the first person who counts the number of times I've actually said stupid in this live stream. More dumb than quality hot takes. All right, here we go. You should be able to see the salary of every other employee at your company. No. You should be able to trust that your company has a hierarchy and is actually working in the best interest of you as an employee to pay you based on your value, and that other people are held to the same standards and are paid commensurate with their value to the company. I realize that's a very corporate answer, and it probably a lot of people. This is a hot take statement because a lot of people probably work at places where you can't trust that your employer is doing that. I don't have a reason to trust or not trust that. I'm pretty comfortable where I am, so I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm probably not qualified to answer this one, but I'd rather marry a hot person with a mediocre personality than unattractive person with amazing personality. I'm honestly not even gonna break this one down. you should never base your life decisions on how something or somebody looks. Okay, that's my life advice for you. Be happy. Find somebody who compliments you and who respects you and who you have genuine connection with. Forget about the looks, and you'll be a happier person. And on that note, getting an STD is no big deal. I think getting an STD is a very big deal. So I disagree with that one. And I think we'll go a few more minutes. It seems like you guys are having some fun in the chat. I have I have nowhere else to go, guys. I got nowhere else to go. What was that? That was A Few Good Men, right? I got nowhere else to go. All right. Pretty privilege is real. Now maybe I'm not the right demographic for this one. But I don't know. Does this mean like if you're hot, you get things for free and stuff? I'm sure on some level that's probably the case. If this were false, then we would have no Weinsteins or Louis C.K.'s. So absolutely is real. Yep. All right. I hope this one is true. There will be a cure for cancer within our lifetime. I don't know. I think cancer is one of those not easily defined things. I know as a scientist that might be hard to hear for me, but I don't understand cancer enough to know whether or not that's something that is achievable in my lifetime. Will there be a cure for a type of cancer in my lifetime? I think so. I'm a little bit up on some of the medical research, and I feel like a lot of it is under control. I explained this last week, but I work in an industry where we manufacture drugs that are actually for patients to extend their quality of life and their lifespans. So I absolutely hope that a cancer, I mean, that's the thing, is that's what's missing here. There will be a cure for cancer. I don't think that there's going to be a cure for all cancer. It's going to be a case-by-case thing. Next up, you should work out every single day. This is true. I agree with this. Do I do it? Nope. Will I do it? Yes. I have to. All right, and on that note, bodybuilders are healthy. I think this we can confirm is 100% false. There's one guy who dropped dead like eating. Right? Wasn't it the guy who was married to the pro wrestler Dana Brooke? He was literally eating and he choked to death because he asphyxiated. So I don't think bodybuilders are healthy. And in the time where I was actually living, adopting bodybuilder practices, a lot of what I was doing was not at all healthy. So as a general sweeping statement, bodybuilders are not healthy. However, there is a healthy way to do it, just like anything. We've done a lot. We've actually done a lot of these hot takes. And this is the way this game is supposed to be played. There's rules and there's cards for agree and disagree, and you're supposed to have groups, and people are supposed to slap a card down. So I'm interacting with the chat. This is actually turning out a lot better than I thought it was going to, aside from the crap with the camera. But all right, next. You should always tip 20%. Are we talking about food? This is a food channel. Let's talk about food. I think we have, in 2023, graduated from the 18% is the minimum and now 20% is the minimum. I'm splitting hairs there, but I think you should always tip a minimum of 20%. If service is really bad and you need to tip less than that, you need to tell them. They need to be aware of that. Because that would mean that they can fix it. Eggnog. All right. Next hot take. I would slap. Yeah, they need to come out with a version of this game where it's like that's a stupid question. All right, next up. All right, okay. Now we're seeing more trends. One of the first cards we pulled tonight was something about a Napoleon complex being real. Short guys have better personalities. I'm going to give the same answer for this as I guess I'm considered a short guy. Yeah, I got a better personality, but it's not because I'm short. That's false. No, absolutely not. No way, Jose. All right. This one, I can firsthand tell you, aisle seat is better than the window seat on an airplane. No. Actually, yes. The aisle seat on an airplane is better than the window seat. So going to Vid Summit back in October, I first sat in the window seat because I said, here's my logic. I don't want these people next to me to have to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the flight. And then I got to move my legs or I got to get up and then I got to talk to somebody. Didn't want to deal with that. So on the connecting flight, I took the aisle seat. I got smushed on the first flight. And on the second flight, I kept getting hit by the attendants handing out drinks. And then people were handing me their garbage. I don't know. What is it? The aisle seat is better than the window seat. I didn't test the middle seat. I think I may have to do that next time. I don't know. All right, couple more. And then we'll break for the holidays. I'd rather be too hot than too cold. No. That's a hard one because so we sleep with a fan. Sometimes it's pointed toward me. I don't like being cold there in bed. But when it's really hot, I go inside and I crank the air conditioner like on vacation. I think I'd rather be too cold than too hot. Next. Dentists are over dramatic about flossing. So I have to switch dentists, not because of this, but the dentist that I have really doesn't tell me about flossing. So I don't know when this happened, but my dentist appointments, my checkups are not with the dentist, although the dentist will come in at the end and kind of bark about a few things that need to be done, but never about personal day-to-day hygiene. I guess the first person is the hygienist, and that person says, oh, you should floss a little more. But whether they're over dramatic and whether that qualifies as it being the dentist, I would say no. So I would say dentists are not over dramatic about flossing, just based on my experience. Are there dentists out there that say you need to floss more? Because I was actually thinking about this today. When you floss, you actually make more room for things to get stuck there. Doesn't that mean there's more opportunity for things to get in there and make cavities? This is why I didn't go to dental school. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know. Greg saying middle is the worst. Yep. All right, here we go. Hot take. Family is the most important thing in life. I kind of wish this one came up last. I can make it the last one, but yes, family is obviously the most important thing in life. Aside from hot take, you are the most important thing in life. I think my brother said this the other day. Let's finish this up. And if you don't follow Van Dominic, I'm not wearing his shirt today because it shrunk, but he's been posting on YouTube regularly again. But to this point, he said you gotta take care of number one, but don't step in number two, which is a quote from Rodney Dangerfield. from the movie Back to School. Probably just like him, one of my favorite movies out there. Next hot take. Men should get just as long parental leave as women. Guys, doesn't matter. If you want more leave, get more leave. I don't know. What am I supposed to say about that one? True. I don't think, I mean, it highly depends on the situation. I mean, there may be medical reasons and family reasons for somebody to have to take more time off or sufficient time off after a child is born. So I can't say either way on that one. All right. This is going to be the last one. Netflix is better than Hulu. Absolutely 100%. And that is the hot takes. Everybody, I want to thank you for showing up in the chat live. If you've watched this on the replay, thanks so much. I really enjoyed doing this. This was kind of a fun night. It's something a little bit relaxed, a little bit of a change of pace, not under the pressure of having to deliver fast, snappy content. In the context of food, we had a couple food topics in there, but otherwise we had a lot of really stupid cards in this hot takes game. But most importantly, the holidays are here just about. I want to thank you all for your support and for showing up, and wish you a very happy holiday. It's most important to me that you guys, as my friends and my supporters here on YouTube, know that I want the best for you and for you to enjoy your time with your family. Like we just said 2 cards ago, not the last card, but the second to last card. You got to look out for number 1, but family obviously is important. I hope you have time over the next few days, over the holidays, to enjoy some time with your family. I'll be doing some live streams next week. I'll be off from work. I'm not going to do daily, but I'm going to do a couple things. Definitely something on New Year's Eve. So I wish you guys happy holidays, and Greg, Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time as well. And yeah, exactly, to Dom. Thanks so much. Good night.